Happy Saturday, also Valentine's Day. I was considering dressing up in some sort of Cupid costume for just a minute, then I decided against it. But then I thought, what better day than Valentine's Day to talk about CAO performance review or performance evaluation, however you want to put it. I can't think of a better topic. But ultimately, what I want to talk about this with you for is because, again, you can learn here about the process of evaluating the person who heads up the entire staff of the municipality and executes the how of all the things we want done as residents. You can learn about that, or you can just learn that I have learned about it. Okay, so that is the kind of dual function here. Maybe you're interested, maybe you're not, but your mayor needs to know about this process of holding the CAO to account. Why is this important? See yesterday's video and the day before. We've established a foundation here for why it is important to perform this kind of review for the CAO because of their crucial role in the municipality. Now, I want to talk about how important it is to use a tool as we kind of continued from yesterday to evaluate the CAO. It is not an arbitrary process. It's not just a sit down, have a coffee and a casual conversation. How do you think you're doing? Hey, there might be some places for that sometime, but when you are talking about an evaluation, it needs to be objective, it needs to be rigorous, it needs to be mutually agreed upon, it needs to be goal-focused and oriented. So that's why I want to talk to you about the three-part process that is laid out in one of the tools that I have found. Now, where did I find this tool? Well, something like CAMA, the Canadian Association of Municipal Administrators, CAMA, that is the kind of organization that you would turn to for something like this. So the CAMA is a nonprofit membership association for administrators of municipalities, and it specializes in all things that the CAO would be interested in, would need, including resources. Like any association, you join this association and then you are held to a standard of conduct, a standard of excellence. And that's why it's important for the administrator of St. Stephen to be involved in this kind of organization. And as a result, you get access to, the municipality gets access to, through the member, through the CAO, because membership is limited to administrators. The council and the municipality itself, as I've mentioned in other videos, could become a member of the Union of Municipalities of New Brunswick, which St. Stephen is, etc. So you've got mayor and council have their kind of own associative and supportive bodies, and here CAMA would support the CAO. But, and I put the link in the description here, the CAMA, for example, is one of those tools that a municipality, a CAO, could use to access something like a performance evaluation toolkit. And the toolkit that is provided at CAMA, I've kind of read it in depth. It talks about and it lays out three parts, a three-part evaluation process that I briefly want to outline here so that you can understand what an evaluation process could look like. This is the kind of thing that I would discuss with the council and the CAO. Is this the tool that we want to use? But here's the process of properly assessing the CAO's performance over the course of a year. Now, it doesn't have to be a year. It can be quarterly or periodically in other increments. But this kind of rigorous performance evaluation process is recommended at least once a year. So first of all, the CAO, as step one, it's on the CAO to gather all the relevant documents. So the hiring documents, basically their job description, their any covenants, any contract that they have, descriptions on municipal level of them taking over the role. Then they would want to gather all the governance documents in terms of job description, the bylaws that I've shown you, for example, that bring on their role into existence. So there's governance documents that apply to the CAO, and then they would want to gather together performance documents, key indicators and a strategic plan, things that the council as a whole, the municipality, wanted to achieve. And so that's a separate category from the others, okay? So the CAO gathers all those kinds of documents together in preparation for their own self-evaluation. And then the next thing they do is agree upon a tool to use with mayor and council so that both sides are evaluating them on the same criteria. That's really important. Like I said, this is not just sitting around saying, I don't know, what do we think is relevant here? No, it is a specific tool with specific questions and categories and a rubric by which the CAO will be evaluated, and both sides agree to it. So once that is agreed upon, typically that goes through the mayor and the council, and they all agree together on an evaluation tool. Then the CAO evaluates themselves on that criteria in relationship to those documents that they gathered together, okay? So that's just step one, where the CAO brings all those things together, evaluates themselves, and then presents that to the mayor, their self-evaluation and a reminder of all the things that they are held to, whether that's job description, whether that's what the government requires, or whether that is, like I said, key performance indicators or strategic goals that were wanted to be achieved by the governance body as a whole. Now, then we move into part two of the evaluation process, where the mayor gathers up those documents, and then the council and the mayor individually, this can be facilitated by the mayor, as I discussed yesterday when I talked about who evaluates the CAO, all the councilors will fill out the same evaluation tool about the CAO that the CAO evaluated about themselves or filled out about themselves. So then you'll have all the council and the mayor, so 7 people, also answering the CAO the same rubric, the same questions, the same criteria. And of course, that is where the comparison will really come in handy. That's where the rubber will meet the road, because of course you could have a CAO saying, I'm the most amazing thing in the world, or I'm absolutely terrible. Well, okay, that's their prerogative. That'll be compared to the 7 councilors, the 6 councilors and the mayor in our case, and their evaluation of how the last year has gone. So they each fill out that evaluation. That all gets gathered up by the mayor. Then the council and the mayor have a discussion where they prepare to have that full meeting with the CAO. So once you've got all this paperwork, all the evaluations are filled out, there will be part 3, a meeting with the CAO, where that performance review is going to happen in the round, in conversation, taking all the answers into account, like I say, providing comparison, contrasting, and just a frank discussion about what has transpired in the last year and whether or not the CAO is meeting the highest standards. So that is the last step of part 2, is the council and mayor preparing to have that conversation, deciding who chairs that conversation, etc. These kind of meetings happen in camera typically. So after a council meeting, there will often be a closed session. The council rarely says what it's for. There are legal allowances for a private in-camera session you can find in the Local Governance Act, right? Our favorite act that we say regulates all things. There are very narrow stipulations on what can be done in camera and what cannot be. But personnel matter, you'll see sometimes in the agenda for the council meetings, they will say we will move now into a closed session for a personnel matter. Now, this is an example of that kind of thing where we're discussing personnel. The CAO is somebody who is on staff. They're the manager of staff, but that gives them some confidentiality in the process. And the council then will discuss how to have that conversation with the CAO in their final performance evaluation review. So that then moves into part 3. And part 3 of this process, again, rounding up, part 1 was the CAO gathered all the documents, did their own evaluation, passed it off to the mayor. The mayor then made sure themselves and every member of council filled out the same evaluation. Then they have a conversation on how to facilitate the conversation with the CAO. Part 3 now is the meeting where they sit down, they all go over the data, the feedback, the strategic plans, what goals were hit, what was not, conduct and competency. Those two things are very important, and they are not the same necessarily. You can have someone who is very competent, but their conduct is not great. You can have someone with great conduct, but their competency is not great. So we want both of those things firing on all levels when it comes to the CAO. And then that is the evaluation that happens in discussion. The council decides how to move forward based on that performance and that evaluation. And this, of course, really needs to feed into the next year of setting goals, setting expectations, recalibrating areas of improvement, things that are going well, so that the following year, the process can repeat. The CAO gathers those documents and does it all over again. So the intent here, like I said, was for you to understand that these tools exist. They will be utilized by myself as the mayor, the CAO and the mayor and the council working together to make sure the CAO is well evaluated because of their crucial role in the how things are carried out. The decisions that are made by council on your behalf need to be implemented by the staff really well. And this is where the council evaluates how things are being implemented, how well they are or not, or otherwise, okay? So hopefully you now understand that, or understand that I understand that. Great, either one is fine, both is ideal. Tomorrow, I want to talk more, we're moving out of the CAO now. So that was kind of, hopefully you enjoyed that little series. Hopefully you understand more about the CAO and the evaluation. Tomorrow I'm going to kind of make a video, I think, that is more going to be in line with the kind of videos and content I will produce when I am your mayor. Once I become mayor, I want to do this kind of thing where I put in very plain language some things that are happening, that we're doing, but decisions that are made. And there's kind of some stories that are breaking, a couple of stories the last week that really affect municipalities. And one crucial thing when we're talking about performance, how do you find out if you're performing well? Well, you want the evaluations, but you also want councillors and the mayor in your municipality to be trained. And the province recently made a decision that is a little disappointing on that regard, and I will unpack more of that tomorrow. So like I say, videos like this, content like this are going to be news and implications for us and what that means moving forward for our municipality of St. Stephen. All right, that's it. Have a great Valentine's Day. If you're still here, I hope you get out and enjoy this day where we celebrate love. And speaking of which, hey, how about you love yourself today, love your neighbor, and let's build up St. Stephen together. I'll see you tomorrow Sunday. Have a great day.